Hello, Nicholas. How are you, my friend?
I am good. How are you?
Good, good. You'll notice quickly, viewers and listeners, that we are virtual once again. This time it is because there's just, a casual hurricane coming through Florida, and the roads were pretty wet and a lot of things were shut down, and we just didn't want to risk all that, so we decided to hop on and go virtual today. Thank you for, your patience with the virtualness and all that stuff. Nick, I appreciate you still coming on, buddy. I know it's been a hectic week for both of us.
It's all good. I mean, you're just more hectic than me. You saw Creed.
I did see Creed, the
What a
band.
thing to see.
And it was super fun. I had a
Yeah,
really great time. It was a good
I have a
show.
signed Creed poster in my house.
You've mentioned this before, and it
Yeah.
does make me a little jealous. But with that down, there's some big news at the top of the show that we wanted to let you guys know about. And that is that we have some major channel updates for you. The big one being that what's not going to change. Let's do that. What's not going to change is we are still going to be doing movie reviews every week. We might take a week or two off, like starting now, but once we're back up and running, we're still going to be doing at least one movie review a week, maybe more if we can, if we have time. But movie reviews are not going away. We're still doing movie reviews and out of theaters whenever they're applicable. The one thing that is changing is typically we take our hiatus for the roundtable right before the holidays, usually around Thanksgiving, a little after Thanksgiving, and then we are gone until the new year, and then we get into the Oscars. That's our normal pattern for this, and we are going to start that hiatus early this year. We're actually going to start it effective right away. This will be the last episode of the roundtable for some time. Why are we going on a hiatus? Is for a couple of reasons. One is, and let me just say, they're all good problems to have. One is the fact that Quiver's doing its festival run. It's doing very well. Quiver's our short film. And I'm going to have to be doing a lot of traveling and a lot of press to kind of promote the movie and get it ready. We're getting ready for our Orlando premiere, which is coming up in September. And it's a lot of work on top of my full-time job, on top of the movie reviews and trying to run the channel. And obviously the podcast takes a certain amount of our time, and we needed to stop doing something in order to be able to achieve everything. And this is the thing that we've decided to stop. Another reason, and this is actually really exciting, is Nick and I are cooking up some brand new things to bring to the channel in the form of another podcast, which I'm not going to talk about the details of right now, and also just other editorial videos, whether they be video essays or instructional videos. At one point way in the past on the channel, I attempted to do some filmmaking how-tos, and I really liked doing them. I might start doing them again. But there are a number of things that I won't mention that we're working on that we want to bring to the channel that I want to wait until it's ready to come back and go. So that's exciting. It's another reason why we want to step away, is because we want to work on those things and get them ready to go before we start doing them, which might take up until the beginning of next year. We want to work on them for some time. One thing I will tell you is we will be back for Oscar season for the roundtable. Now, will it stick around after the Oscar season? Like, will the roundtable be ready to be fully come back full time? We'll have to see. But we will be back for Oscar season, and because part of what we're going to be discussing while we're taking this hiatus is, the best way to do the roundtable, because we love doing the show, but as you guys know, it's not live, and sometimes there's a day between recording and coming out, and then stories are old. It's a weekly show that relies on news that's only relevant for about a day. So that's not lost on us. So we're trying to figure out the best way to do the roundtable. Is it possible to do it more than once a week? Is it possible to do it every day? Is it possible to do it live? Like, these are just questions that we're going to be exploring as we're working on developing the new content and the new projects. This is one of the questions we'll also be asking. Before I throw it over to you, Nick, for any comments, I want to talk to the viewers and listeners and say, please comment on types of videos you would like to see from us, types of podcasts you'd like to hear and see from us. Like, we would love to have your feedback and listen and move forward with this. Something that I'm considering is maybe, while the roundtable is on hiatus, just doing box office videos every week to break that down, just because everyone knows it's my favorite part of the show is doing the box office. So, I'm not saying I will do that. It's just an idea that I have, but please leave your comments as to what you think we should be doing. The type of videos you'd like to be seeing, things you like that we do, things you don't like that we do. and we're going to try to make those happen. Having full-time jobs, making short films, festivaling the short films, and doing movie reviews makes it a little bit hard to run other stuff on the channel, but we're going to try to do what we can. But last thing before I throw it over to you, Nick. I do want to say thank you to all the people who have been following us, who have been watching the Roundtable, who have been on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. All of the comments and support that we've been getting. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate the viewers. I mean, we know it's a small group, but it's a very nice group that tends to watch and comment. Do we get a lot of bullshit comments from people who hate us? Yes, we do, but that's every YouTube channel. We know a majority of you guys watch us and enjoy what we do, and we appreciate you. So we're going to go on hiatus after this, but Nicholas, I want to throw it to you. Do you have any other comments or anything to say before we get the show started?
Yeah, I mean, like Dalton said, it's a hiatus, but it is a little different than the ones we normally do. Normally, it's just a solid break, but we are still going to be looking for ways to bring content to you guys through the forms of, movie reviews. I was actually just accepted into the same Critics Association that
Yes.
Dalton is a member of.
Yes.
Which means that one, I will get access to the movies. Yes, that I was going with Dalton too as well already, but that also means that I'll have access to TV shows, which is one of my favorite things as well. So the content's not going away. We may sprinkle in some more TV shows, who knows, that kind of content. And thank you everyone who's been watching.
Yes. Thank you sincerely. We really, really appreciate you guys. So with that, let's get the last episode of the Roundtable for the Foreseeable Future started. And I'm actually going to introduce the first story because it's behind a paywall that I have. Sorry, Nicholas.
That's fine.
But
why am I even here?
This was an exclusive from Jeff Snyder on the In Snyder newsletter that Deadline then picked up after it ran. And it's such an interesting story because it wasn't on my bingo card. Let's just say that. But I'm immediately fascinated by this. And this does follow one of the cardinal rules we have here at Movie Nights, and that is if Ben Affleck is in the news, we must report on it. So coming from the In Snyder newsletter, Gus Van Sant, who directed Good Will Hunting, will reunite with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon on a new film. What's that film, you ask? I'm so happy that you've asked that. It is the story about Hulk Hogan suing Gawker for leaking a sex tape with him, in which Matt Damon will play Peter Thiel, who was the former CEO of PayPal, who wanted to take down Gawker because of stories they published about him. So he helped Hulk Hogan sue them, and Hulk Hogan will be played by Ben Affleck. Guys, I don't think you understand the level of hype I suddenly have for this film. Is he going to actually work out and get as big as Hulk Hogan? Will it just be fake muscles? Is he going to be doing like a straight up impersonation? Is it going to be just like a weird take? What's going to happen? We're going to get an interview with Hulk Hogan during the press tour that's going to be completely batshit insane because Hulk Hogan is completely batshit insane. There's so much here. And then Gus Van Sant. Okay, Oscar winner, let's do this. And I also want to point out that the script was written by the person who wrote The Big Short. Guys, what is going on? Like the talent behind this movie baffles me. Like it has to be great. And I never thought this would be a story that's worth telling. Maybe there's a lot of the story that I don't know that's going to be suddenly interesting. What I find hysterical is that Chris Hemsworth was going to play Hulk Hogan in a biopic for a long time. And when you think Hulk Hogan, I think Chris Hemsworth would be the first person to play him, not Ben Affleck. Am I upset about that? Fuck no. This is so exciting. And it's also going to be produced by their company, Artist Equity. So, Nicholas, your thoughts on this batshit crazy story?
One, Hulk Hogan is from Georgia. So it's crazy now that he's going to be from Boston.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Also, just what a choice. But here's the crazy thing about it. I don't even see it.
And that's why I'm so interested. You know what I mean?
My mind cannot. Listen. I know prosthetics are wonderful. I cannot see it. Now, unhinged comedic Ben Affleck performances are always great, so I feel like that's where we're heading with this. But I mean, what Gus Van Sant, he hasn't really directed much
It's been a
in a
while.
while, right?
Hmm.
I mean, I know he did was it Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot.
Yeah.
And then recently he directed a couple episodes of that show Feud. So maybe he has a thing for trials and feuds, I don't know. But listen, if there's one guarantee for your movie to be good, it's Ben Affleck and Matt Damon together. That's just a
Yes.
fact.
And
So
you speaking to unhinged comedic performances from Ben Affleck, if you guys still have not seen The Last Duel, what are you doing? That's one of the best comedic performances I've ever seen a human being give. It was so Ben Affleck stole every second of that movie.
he's really
But
good in it.
yeah, but yeah, I'm just completely fascinated by this. Again, was not on my bingo card. And honestly, with the talent involved, is it doomed to fail because of it? Like, is it doomed to be a bad movie because of, like, I almost feel like there's so much talent, it circles all the way back and just
Yeah.
goes negative. Like, I'm just
All
so
this talent for Hulk Hogan.
yes, yes. And I know, God, I the press tour, there are no words for how excited I am about this press tour. Oh my God. Because like obviously Hulk Hogan in the story is the victim, but like
Mhm.
there's no way you can portray him as heroic because he's a piece of garbage human being. So it's like, how is it gonna work? I'm so interested in this. But yeah,
Oh man.
guys, what do you think about this story? I cannot believe it's real. Let us know in the comments as we move on to our next story. And Nicholas, what is our next story?
Our first story comes to us from Deadline, and that is that John Wick 4 sequel series from Keanu Reeves and Chad Stahelski heats up the TV marketplace.
Yes, so this also comes off the heels of the Continental series that came out, I believe it was last year.
Mhm.
And I never watched the series, although when I went to Comic-Con last year, I did get to see like extended sequences of it. And I was super excited to watch it, but then I had missed the air date. Like I was busy and couldn't watch it the day that it aired. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll catch it when I can. But the reviews were not very good. And I was so upset by that because I was just like, man, like it looked so good and it's part of the John Wick world. I love the John Wick world. What happened? I've heard, this is just rumors, but I've heard that Chad Stahelski was not really actually involved, and same with Keanu Reeves. Like I heard it was kind of made without him, and that he might be mentioned like as a producer by name, but really he didn't do much, and that
Mhm.
he's not a fan of that idea, which is why a few months ago on the show, maybe it was the end of last year. Do you remember the story where suddenly they appointed Stahelski as like the Feige of the John Wick universe? That was kind of on the
What
heels.
a title.
Yeah, right. But that was kind of on the heels of that show not performing as well as they hoped. So, with that being said, in this Deadline story, it does mention that while Lionsgate is producing it, and they also produced the Continental series, this show is going to be called John Wick Under the High Table. It does make it clear that Keanu Reeves will not be starring in it, but that he is going to be on as a producer. But it also mentions that Chad Stahelski will direct the pilot episode. That is really exciting
Mhm.
because anyone who works in TV knows that while the showrunner and the writers have all the power and the storytelling on TV, the director of the pilot has the responsibility of setting the tone for your entire series. Each director that comes in after that is tasked with the responsibility of making sure that it feels tonally and just feels like in general that first episode. And so the fact that they're giving this responsibility to Stahelski and that he's going to be one of the lead producers on it gives me a lot of faith that this show can do well and be good. And I like the idea that it's called Under the High Table when after John Wick 4, there practically is no fucking high table. So it's almost going to be like a power vacuum in my mind. I don't know that, but it's just me assuming. But what are your thoughts on this? Is this something that you'd be interested in?
I mean, I was interested in the Continental, and then the reviews kind of pushed me away from it, so I actually never started it. But
Mm-hmm.
I do you think that it's misleading to have John Wick in the title without
No.
having John Wick in it? You know, like they're not calling Ballerina John Wick Ballerina, and the
Yes.
Continental wasn't John Wick the Continental.
Yes, but it was the Continental, like from the world of John Wick,
Hmm.
because like for marketing purposes, you got to have John Wick in the title.
Yeah.
Like, because Ballerina, yeah, it's called Ballerina. I'm sure when it's marketed, it will be Ballerina something something John Wick. Like you have, just for marketability, you and I know that it's in the same world as John Wick, but my mom doesn't know that. And she's
Yeah.
not going to do the research on the trailer of what universe the movie's in unless you put John Wick in the title. And I think calling it John Wick is a smart move. And I think just from the marketing get-go, you can just establish that he's dead. Like from John Wick 4, that John Wick is dead. And I think it would even be a great story point if, like the boogeyman, who John Wick was often compared to, if people are paranoid in the series that he isn't dead. And like that is the part of like the crux of what the high table is struggling with, is like they feel safe because John Wick is dead, but then there's people like, you don't fucking know that, like he's the fucking boogeyman. And literally having the legacy of boogeyman kind of be John Wick after he's dead. I think there's a lot of story possibilities there, and to me those possibilities lend them using the title John Wick personally.
I guess that's fair. I don't know. I just see John Wick and I expect John Wick, but I think it's a great universe, and they said they're choosing new characters as well as some returning favorites. So I'm just curious whose those are. Like, I would love to see the Harbinger again from John Wick 4. I thought that was a fascinating character. Maybe we'll get some adjudicators running around.
Yeah,
I think it'll be good. Did they say where it's ending up?
not on where it'll be streaming, but I know Lionsgate's making it, and last time they went with Peacock, so maybe it'll be Peacock again. But who I would like to see, and it's a long shot because she's an A-lister, but I would love to see Holly Berry's character back. I would actually also love to see Common from John Wick 2, because they never said that he fucking died, and I loved him in John Wick 2. I loved him in John Wick 2.
Did the actress who was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., did she die in the first movie?
Yes, she did.
She does die? Okay, never mind. Where's Winston? No, yeah, Winston's still around.
Yeah.
Just put Ian McShane in it. That's literally all I need. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Jonathan?
Well, he's got
listen, I'm not gonna say no
left. I feel bad.
I'm not gonna say no to more John Wick. Especially with Chad Stahelski's involvement. He clearly knows what he's doing in this universe. So I have nothing but faith in this project.
Yeah, and I'm also looking forward to whenever they finally start shooting the Highlander reboot, which apparently I think shoots at the end of this year, if I'm not mistaken, which is also very exciting, stepping out of that universe. But regardless, I think this is exciting. You think this is exciting, but what do you guys think? I'd love to see your comments down below about this. And Nicholas, what's our final news topic story before moving on to the box?
Yep, our final story comes to us from Deadline as well, and that is that Jenna Ortega is in talks to board JJ Abrams' secret Glen Powell movie at Warner Brothers. Secret Glen Powell movie. It's a good band name.
Yeah, hell yeah, it is. That's a great band name. You're right. Now, look, I know that there's not a whole lot to dive into here, other than that the headline is interesting, that Jenna Ortega is going to be in a Glen Powell movie directed by JJ Abrams. Assuming he's directing, we know that it's producing. And Deadline also says that Abrams wrote the script as well, and usually he directs things that he writes. Now, here's what I'll say. The reason why I made this a story, because honestly, the reason, like whenever there's casting news like this, the reason why we don't cover it on the show is because the conversation goes to, isn't that neat? Yeah, that's neat. Anyway, next. And like, there's nothing to go on there. So I kind of wanted to throw this at you. Whenever JJ Abrams is involved in a movie, period, there's like a 35% chance that it's a Cloverfield movie, at least. So my question to you, because that franchise has been quiet ever since the Paradox one. What are the odds that Jenna Ortega and Glen Powell are doing a Cloverfield movie with JJ Abrams? This is me. I hear that. By the way, this is me completely pulling that out of my ass. That's not in the article at all. There's no plot details. There's no title. But I saw it and I thought about it, and I was just like, the last time they did a secret movie, it was Cloverfield. I'm wondering if it could be Cloverfield again. So you don't see it. What do you think the potential of it could be?
I don't see it, only because of how big both of them are. That doesn't scream Cloverfield movie to me. This screams more commercial blockbuster, which I don't think that Cloverfield fits into, nor do I want it to.
Listen, I think you're 100% correct.
Mhm.
However, when Ryan Coogler was making a secret movie that had Michael B. Jordan, at no point did we think it was going to be a period vampire movie.
No. Well,
So,
what's weird to me is about the article, right?
mhm.
All it says is few details are known about the movie other than it's not a time travel movie. Now, I don't understand why that's said. Like,
I, I,
like what is that assumption?
honestly, I hope it is a time travel movie because what I like to think is that they
Yeah,
said, "Hey JJ, what's the movie about?" And he panicked and went, "Not time travel." And then they were
it's
like,
definitely
"Oh,"
not time
and
travel.
they were like, "All right, fucking noted."
You're like, all right, we got you. I
Yeah,
hope it's a Super 8 movie, if I'm
dude,
being honest.
you hope it's a Super 8 movie. Dude, I would literally take off several days off of work if it was a Super 8 movie. I fucking love the first Super 8 movie.
I'm trying to think, like, I don't know. I feel like it's just gonna end up being something just original
Likely.
sci-fi. I don't think we're going into IPs here.
I think
I
that's likely. But I am excited to see Jenna Ortega and Glen Powell star together. I think they're both incredible actors, and I imagine they have top tier chemistry with one another.
I agree. I'm reading this article here and it's interesting. One, Glen Powell's just booked
Yeah.
solid. Both of them.
Yeah.
She's got Beetlejuice coming around the corner. Twisters is a box office smash. He's got Edgar Wright lined up for the Running Man reboot. But I was reading it, and there's a movie that it says here that Jenna Ortega has lined up, which is interesting. It's Sony and 3000 Pictures, Clara and the Sun, which is about a robot girl who is designed to prevent loneliness, and she tries to save a heartbroken family of humans, with Amy Adams and Tasha Leone also set to star.
Oh shit.
Well, here's my only thing. That sounds like a great concept.
Mm-hmm.
It is from Taika Waititi,
Okay.
and I would be on board for this 6 years ago.
Yeah, he's been on a cold streak. However, I think if there's a movie that can pull him out of it, it could be this. Now, I'm also just hoping that because Amy Adams just deserves a fucking win so badly. But I also think that maybe this is the movie that kind of gets Taika back on track because, Love and Thunder and oh my God, what was that soccer movie he did? Next Goal
Oh,
Wins.
next goal wins, yeah.
Both of those were kind of letdowns. And although I don't think either movie's awful, I do think Next Goal Wins was a little bit worse than Love and Thunder because I think Love and Thunder did have some positive things going for it.
Mhm.
But I'm hoping that this movie kind of brings Taika back because this is the same guy that made fucking Jojo Rabbit. It's the same guy that made What We Do in the Shadows, Hunt for the Wilder People. It's a great filmmaker. Um, so yeah, we'll have to see. Sorry, got a little off topic there,
I'm open.
but it was interesting.
No, but I mean, Glenn Powell, Jenna Ortega, two great leads to have in your movie, so I'm definitely interested. Abrams, we'll see what he pulls out this time.
Yes, 100%. What do you guys think about Jenna Ortega and Glen Powell starring in a secret movie with JJ Abrams? Please put your thoughts in the comments as we move on to the box office.
The box office.
I realized there was no point in me going backwards because the mic follows me, but it's fine. I should have taken it. I should have been like box office. Like that's more like
That's
it.
much better. Yeah.
God, the things you fuck up on your last show before hiatus. But anyway,
That's why we're
uh
going on hiatus, guys. We got to get our shit together.
exactly. Nicholas, can you pull up our predictions from last week?
Sure thing. Dalton, you had Deadpool and Wolverine coming in first, followed by Trap coming in second, Twisters in third, Despicable Me 4 in four, and Inside Out 2 number 5. I had Deadpool and Wolverine number 1, Twisters number 2, Trap number 3, Despicable Me 4 in 4, and Harold and the Purple Crayon coming in 5th.
You were right about Twisters. I was right about Inside Out. That's where we ended up. So here is the final top 5 of the box office last weekend, and that was Deadpool and Wolverine, Twisters, Trap, Despicable Me, and Inside Out 2. Harold and the Purple Crown came in 6th, around 800,000 below Inside Out 2. Now, let's dive into these numbers a little bit more, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool and Wolverine. Jesus Christ. Deadpool and Wolverine.
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 It's a
Oh,
Marvel movie.
it's a Marvel movie. It was literally the best freaking movie I've ever seen in my whole life.
Blade.
Damn it, that was good. It opened, or not opened, Jesus Christ, we're a shit show. It made 96 million in its second weekend, dropping 54%. That's about an average drop, but usually when a movie opens as high as it does, it has a longer or a bigger drop. So this is actually great news for Deadpool and Wolverine. Twisters made 22.8 million, dropping only 35% from week 2 to week 3, yet it's being put on PVOD next week, fuckers at Universal. Trap in its opening weekend made 15.4 million, which I saw and I did not love. Despicable Me 4 made 11.4 million, and Inside Out 2 made another 6.8 million. Diving into Deadpool and Wolverine here, its worldwide box office total as of now is $823 million on a budget of 200. It's made 4.1 times the budget back, and domestically, it's at 395 million, which means it is the highest grossing domestic R-rated movie of all time, surpassing The Passion of the Christ. He is literally Marvel Jesus. Twisters now has $274 million worldwide on a budget of 200. So right now it's at about 1.4 times its budget. It's conceivable that we live in a world where Twisters doesn't break even or barely breaks even. However, that just depends on how many people watch it on PVOD next week. I can't believe they're putting it on PVOD next week after the low drops. This makes no sense, especially when your movie is on the cusp of not breaking even, you morons. Go on.
And they're in the clear. Nothing's coming out.
I know. Nick, I'm fascinated. Trap for Warner Brothers has 20 million worldwide so far. I don't know what the budget was, but I know it was the mid-budget range, so it's probably just opened slightly below the actual production budget. We'll have to see how it does in the weeks coming, because it did have a C cinema score, so that's not going to be helping it all that much, but like you said, there's not much else coming out, so we will see. Despicable Me 4 is now at $754 million worldwide. It is now at 7.5 times the budget back, because it's made for a budget of $100 million. And Inside Out 2, the fucking juggernaut that it is at $1.55 billion, and it's made 7.8 times the budget. The question is for Deadpool and Wolverine. It's no question at this point that this movie is reaching $1 billion. That's out of the question. It 100% is. It probably will by next week. The question is, can it catch up to Inside Out 2? Which, if you asked me when Inside Out 2 had its second weekend, it made it clear it was going to hit $1 billion. I would tell you it probably wouldn't make as much. However, like you've pointed out, there's not much coming out for some time. Like not until like Beetlejuice. But even then, that's not going to be a
you get
massive.
Aliens.
You do get Alien, but I feel like Alien will open to 40, I think 50 max, and that's being generous. That's just me assuming that the good marketing is going to help it out. I would love to see if Alien Romulus opened to like $100 million. I would be fucking thrilled. I would love that to happen. I just don't foresee it. But yeah, that was the top at the box office, guys. We're not going to make predictions, obviously, because we're not going to have a show next week, and I don't know if I'll be doing box office stuff in the near future. But did you have any notes you wanted to add on the current box office, Nicholas?
It's snuck in futs, but I mean, hey, good for, I think that Disney needed this win. Marvel needed this win with Deadpool and Wolverine. They needed that win with Inside Out 2 as well. Crazy that Despicable Me hasn't crossed $1 billion. I always thought that franchise was just printing billions left and right.
I feel like Minions 3 will do it.
Yeah. I feel like the Minions is much more of a solid brand than Despicable Me at this point. All great though. I do like that franchise personally. You saw Trap. We didn't really get to talk about it. Can you give like a quick little mini review? Just some quick off the cuff thoughts.
Sure. So I would probably say it's a 2-star movie. 2.5 if I was feeling really generous.
Okay.
The movie has a lot going for it that's just not executed very well.
Hmm.
The central idea is awesome. Like that's why I really wanted to see the movie, is I love the central idea. The story, I'm trying to not spoil it. The story makes a choice in the second to third act break that is baffling in an interesting way, where you're like, oh, this is what we're gonna do. Okay, handle it well, and it didn't. It which then makes the choice bad. Like, had they nailed it, then that's a genius choice, but they did not nail it.
Like it's like a subversion of expectations. You said, "All right, go for it," and then just
Yeah, exactly. The movie does a Shyamalan thing that I actually don't mind this part, and it's the things just happening because movies got a movie. I don't mind that. I know a lot of people hate that. That aspect of the movie I didn't mind. I thought that was perfectly fine. Something that I liked is while Josh Hartnett is this serial killer who's trying to escape this trap that's been set up for him, he's also a dad to this teenage girl. And I don't mind mentioning this part of the movie, but while he's there, they run into a mother of a former friend and they've had a falling out. And the mother keeps trying to talk to Josh Hartnett while he's trying to figure out how to escape this place. And so he's getting pissed off with her. And he's like, can we please like not talk about this? Like my daughter hates your daughter. Like that's it. Like it's fine. And so like that part of the movie was interesting. But the issue is there are 3 moments in this movie where the script is happening level bad, like dialogue wise. One of them is the one you see in the trailer with the security guard. That whole section with the security guard is laughably bad. Like what happens after that sequence too, unbelievably not good. Like crazy. Now, I also think it's the fault of M. Night Shyamalan because I think the security guard thinks he's in a different movie because the performance he's giving is very much so a choice that is specific. And there's a joke at the end of the movie with him that's really funny. But and also another interaction that Josh Hartnett has with the mother of the other child, horrible dialogue, like just unreal. Now, the third act of the movie, which I don't think they nailed story wise, they did nail dialogue wise and suspension wise, like, or not suspension, suspense, tense. Like it did feel all that, just story wise, it didn't quite make sense. Now, I do have a spoiler thought on the movie that I'm going to be very vague about, and that is the movie is told entirely from Josh Hartnett's perspective until for about 20 minutes it decides not to be, and it goes to another character. It was an interesting 20 minutes, but it would have been more interesting if you stayed consistent and it was told from Josh Hartnett's perspective still. Now, the character it chose to jump to, had the entire movie been told from that character's perspective, that's also an interesting story. And I think if you established both throughout the movie, rather than just for like a 20-minute section, it balances a lot better. Again, I'm being super vague, but the movie is just kind of a mix mosh bag that has entertainment value. Josh Hartnett gives a really I keep saying his name wrong, gives a really great performance whenever he's not delivering horrific dialogue. And you know, it's another M. Night Shyamalan movie that you're gonna like parts of it and not like other parts of it.
How did the end land?
So there's no huge twist. Like there's no big major twist.
Yeah.
There's a reveal that's really dumb. And it's not dumb in that the concept of what it's doing, but how it went about. Like again, I'm trying not to spoil it, but basically there's a reveal that what set the whole thing in motion gets revealed. And how it got set in motion was dumb. Who and why is not dumb, but how it got set in motion is dumb. And it's just like, why was that how it got set in motion, you know?
Interesting. It's been getting, I feel like, I think it came out with a C- cinema score.
Something like that, yeah.
But I've been looking on like Letterbox, it's at a 3 average, 4 star. But like looking at people I follow, right? 4 star, 3 star, 3.5, 4.5, 4.4.
And
Dan
listen,
Murrow
good
gave
for
it a
them.
2.
Yeah, yeah, good for them if they liked it. I'm not taking that away from them.
Yeah,
I just was very disappointing is the right word. I was very let down and disappointed by the movie.
gotcha. I still want to watch it.
And I encourage you to. Like I always tell people, like if I give a movie a bad review, I know that some people watch reviews because they treat it like, reviews for a car or for anything where it's like I'm gonna listen to the reviews because it's about spending money. I
Yeah.
totally get that. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. But I'm a big proponent of just see the movie. Like even if your friend hates it, if everyone's saying to hate it, there's something to learn and take away from it. Just watch it. So when I
Mm-hmm.
give a movie a bad review, that's if you want to take it as, oh, that means I shouldn't see it. That's, if that's what you want to do, that's great. But I encourage people, if I get a movie a bad review, that should make you want to go see it even more because it's like maybe you think I'm completely wrong, or maybe there's something else that you can learn. Like as someone who is a independent filmmaker and wants to constantly learn more about movies, whenever I hear a movie is terrible, I always try to seek it out because it's like that's something I can learn from. Like, why is this movie not working? And how can I
Mm-hmm.
avoid those things? It's interesting in that way.
You never saw Old,
I
right?
never did. No.
So I saw a great tweet. There's a character in that movie who's a rapper, and his name is Midsize Sedan.
Okay.
And
That's
it was just a
incredible,
great
first of
tweet that
all.
saying like, why didn't Midsize Sedan open up for the concert?
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Oh man, Old, what a movie.
Oh, by the way, the last thing I'll say on Trap, I still need to watch Old. Last thing I'll say on Trap, and I don't mean this insulting, but I do. This movie was clearly made with a heavy hand of let's try to kickstart my daughter's career.
Hmm.
And it's very apparent in the movie.
Is she good?
Here's the thing when she's on stage as the pop singer, no. When she has actual scenes, she's perfectly fine.
Which career did he want to start?
That's what I'm asking myself because apparently she's a singer and like the voice is very good.
Is she the one that just directed a movie too?
I think if I'm not mistaken, it's a different daughter. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's a different daughter.
Mm,
But yeah, it was. By the way, oh, M. Night's cameo is fucking amazing. It is one of the best cameos in all of his films.
good.
I loved it.
You haven't seen Old.
Fuck, that's true. But I did really like his cameo
Hmm.
in Trap. Um, yeah. But yeah, little mini review for Trap. You gotta watch Trap. I gotta watch Old. We'll make it happen,
Deal. We'll do an M Night Shyamalan ranking video when we're back.
dude. Honestly, that would be so fucking fun. One condition:
Yeah,
we have to include Kyler. I
there.
almost refuse to do that unless Kyler's involved.
I have not seen a lot of M Night Shyamalan.
Really?
Yes, for example, I haven't seen the big one.
You've never seen The Sixth Sense?
No,
I mean, it's been ruined for you. You know what it is. But dude, it's
the
it's it's such a
the
great film.
the only M Night movies I've seen are Old, Knock at the Cabin, and then Unbreakable Split in Glass.
Well, at least you've seen Unbreakable. Unbreakable is a fucking fantastic movie, and I think Split's a really good movie as well.
Hmm.
Sixth Sense is amazing. Signs is great until the last 10 minutes. But like when I say it's great until the
Mm.
last 10 minutes. Um,
The Visit, The Village, Avatar, The
dude,
Happening.
I didn't love The Visit. I know a lot of people did. Um, Last Airbender, I wouldn't even bother watching it. The Happening. Here's the thing with The Happening. That movie is almost so bad that it's fantastic. Like the Room level bad. But
Mm.
like it's very entertaining and how awful it is. But like the thing that makes it disappointing is you're just like, why M. Night? Like why is this the
Mhm.
like, and I never saw After Earth just because I knew from the marketing that was going to be a shit show. And I never saw it. But no, it would be fun to watch them all and rank them. That'd actually be really fun. But yeah, but dude, Sixth Sense, like that was like a Best Picture nominee, I'm pretty sure. It's a great movie.
Holy crap. Does it still play knowing the twist?
It does, because it's very meticulously made to reflect that twist. Like, he made that knowing, having rewatches in mind.
Gotcha. Okay. Nice.
Yeah. And like, last thing I'll say regarding like the Sixth Sense and the twist, it's all about the reveal of the twist as well. Even if your twist isn't great, if it's revealed well, it almost makes it a good twist, because you're just like, man, that was so sick how they revealed that, bro.
Just like Malignant.
Yes, bro, how they revealed the twist is so fucking good. Like, it's one of the best reveals, just from a technical filmmaking standpoint, not even the story of what the twist is. The technical reveal is so good. Oh, it's a great film.
I'm excited to watch it.
Yes. Does Morgan know the twist?
I think she's seen it.
Okay. Morgan has seen a movie. This is exciting stuff, guys. But yeah, buddy, thank you so much for doing this.
Of course.
We obviously have a lot of work to do in the coming months, but we're gonna get it done. We're gonna do it.
Yeah, we'll get her done.
We'll get her done indeed. Again, guys, please comment videos that you'd like to see, things that you don't like that we do. You can comment that stuff as well. Just be constructive. Don't be, I don't like that you are for human rights. Like, I'm not going to fucking interact with you. But,
love the show, hate the hosts.
Honestly, you can comment that. That would be fucking funny. I would love that. Nicholas, I'm not above replacing us.
We're going to put in a poll. Who has to go, Dalton or Nick?
Oh my God. No, that'd be terrible. But yeah. Anyway, thanks again, guys. We'll be back when we can be, but don't worry, movie reviews aren't going away. If you don't see us for about a week or two, that's just because we're starting to adjust to this new process that we're going to be doing and the projects we're working on. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you when we see you.